Welcome to the Candy Chronicles. Today, the topic of my presentation is Trump is the most humble president in my lifetime. And this is true. In the United States of America, one nation under God, we elect human beings who represent we the people. In the United States of America, we do not expect for our duly elected leaders to have properties that a deity would have. We do not expect our duly elected leaders to have control over life or death. In the United States of America, one nation under God, it is a fearsome time if we have elected an official who believes that he is so much above we the people that he has the power over life and death. That, in my lifetime, in the United States of America, one nation under God, the power of life and death is given to God. It is given to a deity. President Trump cannot, could not, and never claimed he could control who lived or died from this pandemic of the SARS virus, that we've all been paying attention to these numbers. I think it's important for any time you analyze a situation for you to, number one, look at your assumptions. What are you assuming? Are you assuming, like President Trump said when they talked about the numbers coming out of China, you have to make the assumption that they are telling us the truth. You have to make the assumption that the World Health Organization is telling you the truth when you analyze the data. You might make the assumption that the CDC is telling us the truth. You might make the assumption that doctors who are reporting deaths are all telling the truth. I know my poor father was dying, and he had already had COVID. He'd gotten over it very well. He had a lot of other conditions, but 6 months later, when he went to the hospital, and the poor man is dying, and I'm not allowed to go see him, they tested him 3 times for COVID because they really wanted him to have COVID so that they could report it as a COVID death. We, the people, do not have a control over who lives or dies. In the United States, one nation under God, that power belongs to a deity. There are other places where you can live where they believe that their leaders have divine control. And a shout out to Bryson Gray. Listen to his song, "If you don't like this country, you can leave." If you really have the belief that either our President Trump should have had, or our current president, as he claims, does have power over life and death, that really has no place here in the United States of America. Now, I posted on Facebook that President Donald Trump was the most humble president in my lifetime. And I really believe that's true. I really believe Trump is a president of the people and for the people. He wants to do what's best for we the people. He wants to empower us. He made the Republican Party the party of empowerment, as opposed to the other party, the pity party, as we can see very clearly in our state of Kentucky, where even though the Obamacare went through, even though there's no excuse for anybody to not have access to health care, our governor, Andy Beshear, said, "I'm going to make sure that every black person gets health care." Part of the pity party what they want to do is they want to take men like this, men like Andy Bashir, white men, and have them stand up higher above all of the people on whom they're going to bestow their entitlement. So you see, when Andy Bashir made that statement, I will make sure that they have health insurance, he was not being humble. He was elevating himself higher than those people. And he was putting himself in the entitlement position to bestow upon them that which he feels entitled, but he feels that they are not. He feels that they cannot get those things for themselves. He wants to make sure he puts those people in, and by those people, I'm talking about people whom they're putting in victim consciousness. So, for example, let's say you were to tell somebody that they have no control over events in their life. Things happen to them because of something they cannot control, because of their skin color. And if you were a malignant manipulator, you would try to convince your mark of your con, your victim, that they have no control, so that they do not control things that they can control. For example, if I were to rent my car to someone and a dead body were found in it, that would be something I could control. But I would choose to ignore that piece of relevant information when analyzing the situation. If I were somebody like Mayor Fisher, who decides to incentivize victim consciousness by rewarding it with millions of dollars, let's tell this entire community that if they only declare themselves victims instead of empowering themselves over things they can control, such as if I were to receive packages in my home for elements of the drug trade, that would be something I could control. I cannot control the color of my skin, but let's convince this entire population that they have no control over their life because of the color of their skin. And then I, Mayor Fisher, will bestow upon them that to which I am entitled, the $12 million of the people of the city of Louisville. I'm here to tell you, any theory that sets you up purposefully as a victim and tells you that you need a rescuer who's somebody else, who's superior to you, to come and bestow upon you that to which that person's entitled, and is telling you that you're not entitled to that, you need to wait for a rescuer to bestow that upon you. That person is not working in your best interest. And it's interesting what we see today, because what malignant manipulators do is they try to set up